Let me give it to you. Whatever you need, I got it. You need to know anything you need, just ask and I'll provide. Whatever you want, I got it, got it.
Hey. Good evening. Welcome to Looking for Love. I'm your host, Tray Kearney, and this is my co-host,
Lamar Hall.
And we're here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. Subscribe if you are there. Hit the bell for notifications. Make sure if you're enjoying what we say, you can hit the super chat. That way you can donate to the cause so that we can keep this thing going. Lamar, how is, I should say, because we're only on Wednesday. How's your week going?
I am in Boston, so I am coming live from Boston. I'm at a national sales meeting with my company, and I am out here 2 more days. I've been out here since Monday, so the week has been good. It is good. The weather is very nice. A little chilly for me at night, but all in all, good. How's your week?
I had a crazy week. I had a crazy week coming from last week into this week. So last week I hosted 2 panels for autism moms and dads. That was Thursday and Friday. Wednesday I started working on getting Jermaine back in school. So I've been running Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday my sister and my dad came to town. Sunday was my auntie's 80th birthday party. And yesterday Monday, I went to go see my dad, see him off because I wasn't going to see him on Tuesday. So I didn't stop running until yesterday.
Wow.
You know, it was emotional. It was an
Right.
emotional time for me because I don't really have a relationship with my father. So when I see him, it's like we don't have beef or anything. Like we don't have any type of beef, but he just wasn't in my life because he lives in California. I live in New Jersey, it's 3,000 miles away. I stayed with my mother. Him and my mom had a horrible divorce because my mom cheated and had a baby by another man. So his healing process. So it took me a long time, but this time he came, it was a little bit different because we started talking. He started asking what I do. He watched some of the podcasts. He was impressed, and I felt like a little kid. I felt like a little girl because it was like, so good. Like, you're so good at this.
I mean, you said something very grown about you maturing and him having to heal. You know, he had to heal. His family was ripped from him. You know, I mean, he didn't. I mean, unfortunately, he didn't have a decision to make. The only decision he made was the decision that any of us would make. So, but you as a young lady didn't understand that, and kudos to you, and I applaud you because you are one of the advocates for men, and I'm very, very thankful for you in the way that you do it. So it's, you know, it's good. It's never too late to heal and do something. So I'm proud of you.
And it's crazy that with him being in town this time and just having conversations, that my advocacy for men stems from my absence of I never really realized that. Like I thought it's my son. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, no, I get it. I mean, listen, there's a lot of I got mommy issues. I mean, I love my mother dearly. I got mommy issues. I mean, and my relationships reflect that in some case of, you know, their lack of that. I didn't get enough hugs or admiration. My love languages are different. So yes, I mean, I accept it as well. I mean, so that's part of the healing process. And that's, you keep telling people until you sit by yourself and you have these conversations and you go get therapy, you can talk about it as fluid as we talk about it. And that I encourage anybody, listen, sit with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. Stop.
I was talking about that earlier. People do not want to be by themselves because they don't want to deal with the reality of their life. And it's just so crazy that so much stuff came from this visit from me, because I've seen my dad a few times. He came back for I think a funeral or something else. And it didn't hit me until this time that healing is just, there's triggers, right? And it wasn't a bad trigger. Like a lot of times we get a trigger, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
triggered, and it was a good trigger that I could sit there with him, and I needed that validation from him to see. He was just like so impressed, and he was just asking me questions. He was interested, and then he was like, me and my sister were talking about age, and his sister's 88. His sister's 80. He's 83. And he has a brother that's 87, and he has a younger sister that was there that's 77, and another younger sister that's 81. So we started talking about us, me and my brothers and sisters, and I was like, I'll be 55 in November, and he was like, what? You gonna be 55, mama? Because he calls me mama. And I was like, yeah. He was like, the baby's gonna be 55. So he's moving older. Like you talked about your dad, like he's moving older. Like he's an older person now. And I just like, wow, he's fragile. Like he has hips, but it was just eye-opening, and it just brought out a lot.
A lot of healing on both sides, and kudos to both of y'all, because that is a great place to be. So love y'all for that. I do.
But I'm just happy that I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. And I'm just happy that I know that I still have growing to do.
Right.
Because, sometimes I have moments where I'm just like not happy with him. But this time I think I was freed from that, just looking at him and talking to him and realizing that a lot of trauma happened to him in that marriage. And from both of their parts, because my mother told me things too.
Right.
My dad that, made me mad at my father in some ways, but it was just a lot for me to see him and to just feel him this time. And I just was like, okay, he got to see Jermaine, and he was like, oh my God, he's so handsome. He's almost taller than me. And he just was, it was just a joy. Good. And then to see to see my father's side of the family, right?
Right.
I grew up with them. I grew up with my mom's side of the family. I'm very close to all of my first cousins on my mom's side. So to see my first cousins on my dad's side, I was like, these, I was taking pictures, and I was like, my cousins, and I'm like, first cousins, like,
right.
These are my father's siblings' children, and I don't know them. I mean, right. I know of them, but I don't know them. Two of them I've seen over the years quite a few times, because they've come and we decided as adults to see each other. But my other cousins that were there, like, I don't know them, but we were talking, we don't get together, and I'm
That's
like,
dope.
We just don't know each other from. With my other cousins, my first cousins on my mom's side, we did stuff as kids. Like, we got pictures, memories, and I'm just looking at them, and I'm just like, these are my first cousin. And it just made me want people to understand how important it is for when parents don't work out or separate or can't get, that it should not affect the children from knowing both parents and both sides of the family, because that is important, because it shows you who you are. I looked at some of my cousins and my aunt, and I saw me in them.
Right.
I was like, oh, like my aunt's beautiful. And she said to me, she was like, yeah, I love the gray. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be like yours, because hers is all gray and it's beautiful. And my mom had beautiful hair on her side of the family too. But I'm looking at all my cousins, they have beautiful hair, and they're Indian. Like, if we go to our lineage, like, they're Indian, and my dad did all of that. But it was just looking at them, and I'm like, oh, I have my Aunt Marilyn's hair.
Right.
And I'm mommies, but women and men, who are listening, we didn't got to a whole conversation, but y'all here with us. So anyway, whoever's listening, it's important for children to know their parents on both sides. And it just really hurts if we take too long to do that. But it's never too late. If you were
too late.
And I'm gonna hang out with my first cousins on my dad's side. And they just as crazy as the cousins on my mom's side. My dad is laid back. He don't drink or anything. But my cousins, we'll talk about that off camera. But can't say too much, because I don't know who we just talked about. We don't know who watched.
Right.
So we get into our segments. If you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We haven't seen each other all week, so we were just catching up on some things, and we are really friends. So when we see each other and we have these moments, we really talk. So thank y'all for being all up in our conversation. We'll probably talk afterwards. But we're going to get to our first segment, which is, what would you do? And then our second segment is, let's sip on it. So what would you do is, our audience, you guys, viewers, send us questions and ask us and the other viewers, what would we do if we were in this situation, or if this happened to us? And then we go to Let's Sip on It, where we have our celebrity conversation about celebrity relationships. Then we do our Beauty and the Beast segment, where me and Lamar give you a tip on health and wellness, whether it is a physical tip or a mental tip. And then we do our final thoughts, and then we check out of here. But if you are on TikTok, please go over to YouTube, to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel, where we can read your comments on the screen and we can welcome you like we are doing with Maritza. How are you? It is good to see you tonight. Love you, girl. Thank you so much. And if we are entertaining you on YouTube, you can hit a super chat and support us. So let's get to our first question. What would you do? And we would love for you guys to put in the chat what you would do. Mom over me. I got into a physical fight with my fiance's mom. We never really clicked. I've been with him for a total of 4 years, including being engaged for this last year. Our wedding was set for New Year's Day, 2025. She's a busybody and purposefully calls him to do things for her to interrupt our plans. He is her only child, and I get that, but he's not a child anymore or her replacement husband since his dad passed away 9 years ago. He is a 42-year-old man who needs to set boundaries with his mother. We are in premarital counseling. We went to an emergency session after the altercation, and during our session, he verbalized no one will ever come before his mom. Big red flag for me. I'm 36 and we plan on having children. I come first, then our children. I believe his priorities are not in order. He picked his mother's side, so I called off the wedding. My question to you is, does the mother come before the wife and children? Am I being irrational?
No, she's not being irrational. I mean,
That's
I'm
what
glad she
Dan
got.
says.
I mean, I'm glad she got out, because that would be my advice to her. Like, this is too much for one person to overcome. Um, yeah. I mean, you have to put your wife before your mother. I mean, and your mother should understand that. And if she doesn't, it is your place as a man to let her know. No disrespect, Mom. I love you, but I love my wife in a different way, and she is now my passenger. So, in a sense, I saw something on Instagram. In a sense, where we're getting in a car, my wife is going to sit in the front. My mother understands that. I've never had that problem. So, I think just in the beginning, we talk about it all the time, the boundaries, the red flags, the understanding people's place, having these in-depth conversations will help you in the long run.
Mothers and son relationships can be very tricky because mothers love their sons and they feel like they should always be first in his life. But I promise you, and you can say this to if y'all get back together or not, but you can say this to him. I'm sure when your dad was alive, your dad came before you, and your dad came before anybody else in your mother's eyes. And your mother would not have liked if your father put his mother before her. The one problem that I have with homegirl right here is you got into a physical altercation with his mom. That's a no-no for me. That's a red flag for me. I don't know from a male perspective, if somebody if you're one of the women you were dealing with got into an altercation, that would have, and if I was him, not putting his mother before you, but if I was him and you got into a physical altercation with my mom,
right,
you got to go. I mean, not even putting her first. There's a respect level of elders, and I don't know, even if she pushed you or whatever the situation got to where it got to that climax of you getting into a physical altercation with his mom, for me, that ended the relationship right there, because you don't ever disrespect somebody's parent. And you got your answer in you guys' relationship session that nobody's ever going to come before his mom. Right. And I'm listening to you, and he's 42. And that should have been, not that a 42-year-old doesn't have kids. It's not that you're not going to meet any 42-year-olds that don't have kids, but this is their second marriage. But I see why he doesn't have any children, and this is his first marriage, because his mother's a problem. So do yourself a favor.
Exit stage left.
He said it. Yeah. For me, I'm big on when, especially in therapy, when somebody says, my mother, nobody will ever come before my mother.
He know what he's doing. He know where he's putting his allegiance to. And he has every right, and that's fine. You don't know the nature of their relationship or whatever it is. The only person you can control in this situation is you. And when you look at it and you see some red flags, it is your responsibility, your maturity as an adult, man or woman, to act on red flags. Too many times we ignore it, and then you get mad while you're in the situation you're in. Here's a red flag. You already said it. You sent it to us. You hear it. You know better.
Yeah,
Exit.
that's a major red flag. It's one thing when you got to figure it out. Like you're like, do I come first or did the mother come first? He really told me,
It just told
nobody
you straight up.
before my mother. So that means you too. And
Yeah, you too.
there's no sense in trying to convince him until he comes to that realization for himself. And he may one day, after losing good women from his mom, or if his mom is no longer here.
Yeah, there you go. He, then he's gonna have all other kind of trauma. But yeah, I mean,
Right.
somebody else will pick up them pieces. That is no longer your problem.
Yeah, I would just say, I'm glad that you called off the wedding. Unfortunately, if you guys were getting married New Year's, I'm pretty sure y'all paid for everything. That's the only thing. But hey, you can get money back, but you can never get your peace of mind. And if you and his mother never clicked, and y'all got into a physical altercation, this is not the family that you want to be in. Like, I'm going to get married again. I don't know when. I'm 55, so I got time. I don't think I'm old, but I'm going to get married again. And when I do, I don't want to be in a family that I have to convince to like me. If at the beginning, when I see how this is flowing and your mother don't like me or your sisters, I don't even want to deal with that at this big old age. Like, your family don't like, I'm a family person. I love people. I love to be around people. So we have to have in our mind, like we always talk about, Lamar, what is it that we want? Knowing what we want, knowing what we don't want, and honoring those red flags when they show up and saying, I'm not dealing with that. I'm telling you, if your family don't like me, go ahead. They can have you. I'm not even fighting over you with your family. So we had a comment over on TikTok. I wish they were over here so we could put it on the screen, but I'm going to see if we want to address this, okay?
That's it.
So this person said, my husband works, pays bills, but keeps a secret folder on his phone. And I found out 14 years into our marriage, he took my debit card and used it without me knowing for 4 months.
So what did she ask him?
I think she has trust issues. And it's 2024 focus. Oh yeah, I think that she has trust issues. And if your husband has a secret folder on his phone, when people have secrets, you're only as sick as your secrets. That's how I feel. So people who have secrets are sick. What's in the secret folder? And he stole cash from me too. Oh,
well,
he stole cash from you.
It's not a secret folder if she knows about it. I mean, it's like community folder.
It's a secret folder because he don't know that she know about it. We have 2 kids. I don't know what's in it though. Oh, you can't get in the folder.
No.
He won't show me. He won't show you. Listen, you have trust. One thing about me, and I'm just being really serious about this. One thing about me is if I can't trust you, I cannot have any kind of relationship with you. And I'm not telling you to leave your husband. I'm not telling you at all, but he stole from you. He got a secret folder on the phone that he won't tell you what it is. If I can't trust you, I'm not dealing with you. This is friends, family, man, business partner. Once the trust is gone, I don't have nothing to do with you. So
I mean, respect, trust, admiration. They're all in love. That's what I said. For men, love is 3-4 with us. And I don't know. He seems like a real old school kind of guy to me. I don't know. I'm just getting those type of vibes where he just like, I don't know. His tolerance is, I don't know. He don't seem like you've been dealing with it for 14 years. So I mean,
that's why. When there's no consequences, the poor behavior continues.
Exactly. So, but okay. But we got mad at year 13, 11th month, why now is it a problem in the 14th year?
Yeah, but you steal from me? He's stealing from you?
I
No.
mean, I don't care what he did. You're in year 14. It's like, I hate this job. How long you been there? 14 years. What? Like, why are you still there?
That's the question. Why are you still
Okay,
here?
that's something she has to ask herself because, like
Oh,
you said,
she said, I just found out the folder and the stealing in November. If you just found out in November, babe, it's been going on for a long time. It's a huge betrayal. Yes, it is.
I'm not gonna do that to that guy.
Let me ask you a question, because
I'm not.
again,
I'm not easy. I mean,
listen,
she's a smart woman. She
again,
knows.
this
Address
is
it.
one thing. Are you guys in counseling? If you guys, y'all really need to get to counseling immediately so that there can be a mediator so you can hear him and he can hear you. And you can explain why you need to know what's in that folder because it's time to make some decisions. We went to therapy years ago. Well, now you need to
No,
make a whole
it's a different scenario now.
yeah. Now you need to make
That was for some maintenance therapy. This is a
this
situation
is
that is happening.
betrayal. Yeah, this is different betrayal. And I'm a certified life and relationship coach, so you can reach out to me if you really want to have a session where I put on my professional hat and we can have a real session with you and your husband to work through betrayal because betrayal is one of the hardest things to work through, and nobody should be unhappy in their own home. So please reach out if you are interested, or I can refer you to a therapist if you prefer that. So thank you so much for being honest because truth plus
True.
transparency equals healing. And it's
Yep.
hard to be transparent. And again, thank you for that because I always say this. You're only as sick as your secrets. So to let that out is the beginning of your healing. But I would advise you to get some help. If he's not willing to go, I would advise you to get help for you. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love, and we just answered a live audience live viewers question. And we're going to go on to our next question. And this is our segment, What Would You Do? And if you are on YouTube, we'll put your question up on the screen where everybody can see it. So let's go to our next question. Phone sex. My husband has been engaging in phone sex with a woman for some time now. He was in a shower and I answered his phone, and this woman proceeded to tell me that they've been in a long distance relationship, and the relationship is in quotation marks, for about 6 months. She met him when he was on a business trip. She informed me that they'd only seen each other twice and never had physical sex, but lots of phone sex with and without video. She also let me know that she did not know he was married. We've been married 22 years. Our children are young adults, and the last 2 years have really been a struggle due to various reasons. I confronted him and he came clean. He says he wants our marriage to work. I haven't been happy for a long time. Is this a sign that it's time for me to walk away? By the way, there was one other affair 6 years ago, and I forgave him, and that took a real toll on me. How can I ever trust him again? What would you do?
You go first. So I'm gonna be a little harsher.
Okay, I would say again, I'm always big on go to therapy and get some help. If he is a serial cheater, I'm going to say this. There's a difference between making a mistake or a bad choice, I should say, because people say cheating's not a mistake, but I won't talk about that because we all know. But there's a difference between making a bad choice and a character flaw. And if my mother used to say this, and I'm not saying this to you, ma'am, I'm not saying that he's been cheating the whole time. I'm just saying my mother used to say, if you see one rat, there's probably a million. So I would really consider one, therapy, and two, if you've been very unhappy for a long time, why are you there? And some of our other viewers, because we asked them to chime in too, and you guys know that they will, a lot of people are saying leave. I would say right now, if you guys have been married for 22 years, you have to be in your 50s. And ain't nothing nice outside. But if your husband is a liar and a cheater, and he has betrayed you and has been out with someone in a relationship for 6 months and she didn't know about you, I would really consider thinking about myself this month. Lamar.
She sounded like she was taking some accountability for his behavior. Like she actually, and I honestly have respect for women that do take accountability for any reason, because it shows that you're thinking outside the box, and most women don't take accountability. So that being said, it sounded like in the beginning she was, hey, things haven't been the same, and she's taking some of that responsibility. You can work through that type of thing. I do piggyback on what you said, that if he's already been cheating, he got caught 6 years ago. 6 years ago to now, do you think he went stone cold turkey clean? No, I don't think. But we're not here for that. But how old are they again?
She didn't say their age, but she said they've been married for 22 years and they have two grown
Okay.
children. So they got to be in their 50s.
This current situation isn't detrimental, and she doesn't. And I'm more looking out for her. This man. There's some things that can be fixed. You don't want to get back out there at 45 plus. You don't. You really don't. It's the
If you don't have to, you really
yeah. If you don't have to, you
there.
don't. And if you caught him in bed with somebody, that's okay. There's a whole nother scenario we talk about. You're talking about some flirting over the phone. That's it. That's the best that you get, and
So
that's
they have
from.
phone sex.
That's fine. I mean, that's flirting. Nobody touched nobody. No harm, no foul. Nobody got hurt. Is your ego bruised? Yeah, your ego's bruised. But you can't walk around the world being a banana, okay? Bananas get bruised real easy. You can't be a banana. You got to be an apple sometimes, or a cantaloupe, or a watermelon. Takes a little bit more to bruise you. And I think that this situation is not that detrimental. But it is going to require both of them being honest and transparent for once in their marriage, and truly saying, what do you need? What do you want? What are you not getting? If he's going, we're not having sex enough. Okay. And if she doesn't step up over a time period, y'all need to have a reevaluation. Am I doing better? Yes or no? Okay. Maybe she can't keep up. Then that leads us to another discussion, and so on and so on and so on. That type of transparency is needed. If you guys don't want to do that, then just throw in the towel right now and be done with it, because you guys just keep lying to each other.
I just think that this is just one thing that I'm really big on in my life right now at our age is, if it is going to disturb your peace for the rest of your life, if you are going to be the FBI, the CIA, if you're going to be looking through his phone under floorboards, if you're going to be chasing him, if your peace is just going to be disturbed, it's going to physically make you sick. So if you make a decision that I'm going to stay with this person who has betrayed me, you have to make a decision that we're going to have a clean slate. If he says, I want this marriage to work, and he's willing to put the work in, and you guys are going to go get the help that you need, then fine and well. But if you are going to hold this over his head and in your heart, it's going to make you sick. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy to just let it go. I'm just saying that if you're not making a conscious decision that I want this to work with my husband and I want to let this go, and if he shows me that I can trust him again, because you've been with him, you said he cheated 6 years ago. Clearly he made you comfortable enough to stay there.
Correct.
For 6 years, and something has crept in again. Because in 6 years, were you nervous? Were you thinking about this? And you said I haven't been happy for a long time. So you stayed with him for 6 years and you were just unhappy because you didn't trust him. So you got some things to think about. Because she said, I haven't been happy. By the way, I haven't been happy for a very long time. So have you not been happy since he cheated, and you just been there for the children? Because your children, you said they're young adults. So that means they're 21, 18, something like that.
Right.
So have you just stayed for the children and you're just unhappy? Because if that's the case, it probably is time for you to make a different decision, a hard decision. If you can't I'm telling you, if you're mentally suffering because somebody betrayed you, it's not fair to you.
Whatever is going to bring you closer to peace. Not that you're going to find it, but at least you can point you in the right direction. And if you are afraid to be alone and that is, terrifying for you, that's going to be a long journey for you, because you need to spend some time alone, because that peace has to be found first. You can't, there's too many distractions out here, and life will make you slow down to where you start to understand that you need peace.
Yes. You just have to this is a hard decision, but if you have been, again, I'm not letting anybody disturb my peace. I don't care how much time I put in with a person. I don't care if it's my children. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
a family member. My peace, because this is the thing. Your mental health affects your physical well-being. So if you are mentally frustrated, if you are without peace, it will attack your body. And you have to really be aware of that stress accelerates disease in your body,
Yeah.
seriously. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, my peace is more important than anything. Because if you think about it, right, if you've been in a relationship where somebody cheated on you, or you've been in a relationship where somebody betrayed you, whether it was a family, a friend, your back hurt, your neck hurt, you got headaches. That's stress, right? And
Right.
it's going into your body. So you have to really understand that emotional and mental health will attack your body physically, because it has nowhere to go, especially if you're not in therapy and getting the proper care for your mind. So please get in some therapy, sis. And I mean, if you love him and he loves you and y'all really could work this out, that would be a great thing, because there really is not a lot of things outside for a person 45 and up to start over again.
Right.
Some of us, we out here now, because we out here. We've been out here for a minute.
It shouldn't be glorified. Is all I'm saying.
No,
And I
it
think
should.
sometimes in movies and TV series and things, it gets
Mm-mm.
glorified, and then the reality gets out there, and you're in it, and you're in the thick of it. You're like, it's hard to be like, damn, this ain't what I thought it was gonna be.
Mm-mm.
You
I'm
know,
going
could
home.
be,
Yeah.
and it's tough. So really, really think about if the work you're gonna have to do to become this new person, to be out there. Now you're back into this race,
Yes.
and
Yeah. One of our
eh,
viewers said, "Speak on it. I'm a widower. It's not fun out here. It's not fun outside. Don't look at your girls or friends and they go on the brunches and all. It's not fun out here in the street. It's not fun all to come home to nobody. It's really not. It's so much better to come home to the person that you love and cuddle with and trust. Because trust me, building trust with him is the same thing as meeting a stranger. You're going to have to build trust. And if you don't deal with what this has done to you emotionally, you're going to treat the next person
right,
wrong, because you're not going to trust them, because you're going to come in with baggage. So even if you decide that this is not for you anymore, please at least take 2 years to yourself. And I mean 2 years to yourself. Because
yeah,
after 2 years of
yeah,
marriage, you need time to unpack.
yeah. I mean, you need to be by yourself. You need to experience some things. You need to figure out. I used to ask women, and that was one thing I was intrigued to talk to women when I was divorced. Is what do you want out of life? It's like you've been married for 15 years and here you are wanting to jump right back into a relationship. Why? What's intriguing about that? Have you lived? Did you fulfill? Did you do the things that you wanted to do? It took me years to be able to leave my house and not feel like I needed to tell someone where I was going. I
Right.
was I was programmed to do that. And now I
Yes.
can go, I'm telling you, I can move how I want to move. And it's like it still feels weird because it was such a big part of my life. And you gotta deal with all of that. And you don't even know it, when you've been married for so long. And then you get back out here and you go like, oh shit, man, I could have probably worked on that, and it's tougher for women. He Depending on what kind of man he is, he's gonna have better options. Unfortunately, if he let's say he got his money together, his kids are older, let's say he starts going to the gym, get himself together, his options change.
Mm.
And
Again,
that
it's not fun starting over, but if this is messing with your mental health, it's okay to start over because
Right.
number one, for us at our age, we're not starting over. We're starting from experience. So if you've been with him since you were a young person, you actually didn't know what you wanted back then. You just grew into these things. But now, as a 55-year-old woman, soon to be, I know exactly what I want and I know what you ain't gonna do.
Right.
And what you ain't gonna do is that. So going into a relationship outside of doing it new and knowing what you want is totally different. But again, it's not fun out here. So we're not gonna make it like, oh, you're about to have the best time of your life. No, you're not. You're
Yeah.
gonna take a lot of time to heal. You're gonna see, look, is this what this is?
Right.
We see it with the celebrities all the time. They
Mm.
like, I'm leaving, I'm doing this, and then they get outside and they crying all over the TV with their feelings hurt. Just go
It's
home.
rough. It's rough out here. I mean,
Yes.
it's not, life ain't fair, and we don't make the rules. And unfortunately, as men mature, their money gets better. They become a little bit more intriguing. They've had experiences, and that is something women like.
And
So it's
I'm enjoying my time alone. And I had to check myself to not enjoy my time alone a little bit too much because I
right.
do want companion. I do want to get married again. But it took me some time to enjoy my time alone. So once you get outside in your own space and are not afraid to be alone, a lot of people fear being alone because then you have to face yourself. You have to say, well, what did I bring to the table? How could I have done things differently? And then you have to hear yourself and you have to go back to the things, what molded you, your childhood, your blueprint, and all that other stuff. But it's a good thing at our age
Oh, it is.
to know who we are and to be by yourself. Like, it is a wonderful thing because I had moved in with my ex-husband when I was 17. And when I left him, I was with my youngest son's father. And then finally, after I got out of it with him, I was finally by myself for 4 years before I got into another relationship. It was good for me because I didn't like it at first. You know, I was like, this is some bullshit. But,
Right.
you know, after a while, and it was more physical than it was mental and emotional when I got out of the relationship because it was like, I ain't gonna get none, you know, like, ain't no, seriously, like, ain't no loving or what is this? Like, I gotta go to bed by myself. But then when I got past that,
Right.
it was so much better to just get to know myself. Like, I didn't even know what I liked because I had been with a man since I was 17. I really didn't even know what I liked to do. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, you're a graphic designer, girl. And then all these gifts and things started to come out in me. So sometimes you just need to be by yourself. So if you just tuned in,
Absolutely.
you're looking for love, we're on our segment, What Would You Do? We're answering our viewers' questions. If you have a question, you can send it to us at info@newunationnetwork.com, info@newunationnetwork.com, or you can advertise with us, or you can sponsor a segment where we will bring up your brand and let our viewers know what you have to offer. So we're going to want to do one more question?
Yeah, do one more.
Okay, let's do one more question. Then we'll get to our celebrity relationship segment. My wife's birthday was October 3rd. She came home from work with gifts from people at the law firm she works with. One particular lawyer on her job bought her a very expensive diamond bracelet, and I asked her to give it back because it was inappropriate. She refuses to give it back and called me insensitive and insecure. She's joked about this man being her work husband in the past, which was a whole other discussion. Do you think she should give the gift back, and should I be concerned? Let me go first.
Yeah.
Anything that disturbs your spouse's peace, if your husband or your wife is disturbed by a gift that you got from somebody else, it should be a no-brainer to give it back. It's not that serious. Unless you are emotionally attached to that person who gave you that gift. If your husband or your wife says, I don't want you to be friends with this person, give the gift back to the person, your spouse's feelings should come before anybody's, unless you care more about that person than you care about your spouse. So that bracelet, if my man said, if I came home from work and my man, I said, oh, old boy at the job gave me flowers. And he said, give them back. Like, that's inappropriate. Would not argue with him. For what? I don't care about them damn flowers from some dude on my job. You understand what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's no big deal. If it bothers you, it bothers me. My bad. And you talking about that shit. I don't play that work husband, work wife stuff. You don't got no work husband. You ain't got no work wife. So don't come home talking about that either. But if this attorney gave you an expensive, why would he give you an expensive bracelet? Why wouldn't a person on your job, at your job, give you flowers or a can of cookies? Why is he buying you expensive bracelets?
Well, I mean, we don't know. Maybe it was an anniversary. She hit a milestone. Maybe
Well, it was
she's,
her birthday on the job, and this attorney gave her an expensive.
Right, but I'm saying maybe she's been there 20 years or something like that. I mean, we don't know the premise of it, but is it borderline inappropriate? Yeah, it's borderline. The fact that I'm more worried about is that she is defending this guy over her husband. So that's where I just kind of draw the line. That's one of those things. If you are not on my team, whose team are you on? Because
right.
it only works if you're on my team.
Right. If your husband, this is for everybody listening. It is husband and wife, and nobody should be able to come between that. And if somebody has the power to come between that, you should. He said, "Should I be concerned?" You should be concerned that if when you said, "Why would he that's a really expensive bracelet," that's inappropriate. It's a nice gesture, and yes, I'm sure we appreciate it, but you need to give that back to set a boundary with him. And if she gave you any pushback, that's a problem.
Right, but you always got, again, you know what's right and wrong. You know what feels right. You know what feels wrong. When you put yourself as the other person in that scenario, you get the answer you want. Sometimes you don't want to stand there in it, but that's your answer. If a woman at his job did something like that, how would you feel?
Gave him a Rolex.
Yeah, say, hey, baby, this is for you. Or, hey, they're like, hold on. You be like, well, who is this?
Why she give you a Rolex?
Yeah, so it's like,
no. Again, for me, I don't care if it wasn't expensive. I don't care if it makes your spouse feel some kind of way. Your job is that my spouse comes before anybody. I don't care if whatever it was. If he said this gift or she said this gift is inappropriate, and that makes me feel uncomfortable. If you have pushback for this person is more important than our marriage. You're telling me I am insensitive and insecure. By no means am I insecure. I don't want another man giving you an expensive diamond bracelet, because what comes along with that? Why is he giving this to you? Like, again, bosses on jobs give flowers. They give a can of cookies or a box of candy or something that's appropriate for a job setting. Bosses ain't coming giving diamond bracelets. So you should be very concerned about the fact that he gave her a diamond bracelet, was comfortable with it. You should be concerned that she was comfortable coming home with it. And you should be concerned that she's fighting you not to give it back. So I would have a conversation.
That is definitely enough to be concerned about.
Yeah, bro, be concerned. And you are not overreacting or overthinking. You are right on point, and she should give it back, and you should show her this video. And everybody else is saying, Nate said sell it. When she takes it and leave it on the nightstand, make it disappear.
Right.
Hold on. Maritza said diamonds, something's not right. Yes. Check the team's messages on her laptop. Jolyn said check the team's messages on her laptop. Yeah, so bro, you right on point. So we're gonna get to our next segment. We did have another question.
I'm not drinking tonight, so we can have another question.
Want to do another question? Okay. We'll do one more question, folks. Y'all want one more question? Yes. My husband's sister married a bum. He's 44 and still trying to be a singer. I understand we all have dreams, but dreams don't pay the bills. She has a decent job and their home, cars, and basically everything is in her name. She has borrowed money from us several times. She recently had a private conversation with my husband and asked to borrow a large sum of money because they are about to lose their home. She asked my husband not to tell me, but of course he did because we don't keep secrets from each other or touch large sums of money without a discussion. I don't think we should give them the money. Her husband is comfortable. Her husband is comfortable living off our family, not just us, but his other brothers and sisters and their mom, who is basically on a fixed income and can no longer help her. I think it's time for some tough love and for her husband to do what he needs to do to get his family on track. What do you guys think? And FYI, she owes all of us money as of today.
I mean, she already knows. I mean, you've been feeding them. Once you start feeding them, they have expectations, and it's up to you to be the one that's disciplined and say enough is enough. And that's where you're at. You just need to say it out loud.
Yes, Silver Bear, ATM is closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's never going to do what he needs to do because her family is a cushion. He's never going to get it right. So it's not even tough love at this point. It's the fact that he's taking advantage of her he's taking advantage of y'all through her.
Through her, yeah. I mean, he made his mind up. He's like, all right, they some suckers. I ain't got to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this singing thing. No, bro, singing don't pay the bills. So, unfortunately, I know it's hard for your husband. And don't let this come between you and your husband, whatever you do. I know it's hard for your husband because that's her brother. He doesn't want to see her lose her home. But sometimes you have to let people go to let them grow. And you have to show people that, hey, maybe y'all need to go get an apartment because y'all can't handle this home and it's not everybody else's responsibility. I don't know if they have children or not because that may be why the husband and brothers and sisters are helping because you don't want to see your nieces and nephews in the street. But this man is definitely taking advantage of everybody and it's time for a reality check. So I would say I wouldn't do it. I mean, I know that's harsh.
Right.
I wouldn't do it.
Can't pick your family. Damn.
You sure can't. So we're going to get to our next segment. Just tuned in. You're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. If you are on Facebook or if you are on TikTok, please go over to YouTube and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And if you're on YouTube, you can hit that super chat button and donate to the cause so that we can stay here on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So our next segment is Let's Sip on It. This is our celebrity relationship segment where we talk about a celebrity couple and we sip on it. But we ain't got no sips tonight because both of us are dry. So
I was sipping early at my company function. I had 2 old fashions. So
I didn't. I haven't.
I'm sipped out.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go to our next segment. So I'm gonna bring up this video, and this is Let's Sip On. I'm gonna bring up this video, and we're gonna listen to sort of the preference of this video. This is Rashida from Love and Hip Hop, and her husband has been cheating on her, and this is what she has to say.
People say, you this, you that, you that, you this. But a lot of people haven't been married for 20-some years and, don't understand the dynamic. And also with that, not to take up for you, but, being married and in a relationship so long, you go through so much. There's times when y'all ain't clicking, and yes, things happen, and not to condone anything that either party does, but you have to face the realities of that as well, because there's 2 people in a relationship and you have to understand your position, their position, and the position y'all are in at a time. And more than anything, everybody makes mistakes in life, whether it's something big, something small. Everybody has a breaking point. At one time, I thought that was my breaking point, but the Lord showed me different. He leaded me in another direction, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Ever since, Kirk and I's bond has been so strong. And I tell people all the time, because honestly speaking, I never knew so many people could relate until it happened to me. And I have people coming up to me from everywhere, all over the world, just talking to me about their relationships and stuff. And, oh my God, I've been through this, I've been through that. But sometimes it takes certain things to happen in order for your relationship to go into another season.
She's stupid.
What
Like,
I'm this what I'm gonna say. What y'all gonna stop doing is stop blaming the Lord for your stupidity. That's what I'm gonna say. You ain't gonna tell me God said to continue. I'm sick of people like, listen, I love God, and God gave us one thing, and that is common sense. Okay, God has told us do not be unequally yoked. So you're not gonna sit here. People always want to blame God when it's convenient. Oh, I thought this was my breaking point, but the Lord said, the Lord ain't said either your heart or your vagina said it. I don't know which one it is.
Listen,
People that came to her with receipts.
she's a stupid woman. I mean, just some women like, are you dumb or you stupid? Like, I mean, like,
I don't watch that show, but
I don't either.
I've seen enough clips that people have sent me because I talk about relationships. I'm a relationship coach, so all my shows are based on relationships. I do my other show, Relationship Maintenance. I've seen enough clips to know that. Listen, don't talk about people make mistakes. Like, this is a character flaw. This is not. Yeah. This is a person who is a cheater. Whether he has a sex addiction or whether he was raised this way, a lot of men, and I'm not saying all men, but a lot of men have been programmed and brought up to think that monogamy is not normal. So you have to get to the root cause of the problem and not talk about God told you. Did you go to therapy? Did y'all talk to somebody? Did you get to the root cause of why he's cheating? Why his baby mother is showing you text messages where he's sending inappropriate text messages to her saying, if you do this, I'll do that. You got a whole lot going on here, and don't try to use as an excuse. Well, people don't know, being in a marriage for 22 years, people know that when you allow somebody to continue to do things to you, they're going to continue to do it. So
she in particular did not fulfill her superstar dreams of being a celebrity.
Oh.
Let's not forget, that's what this woman wanted. She was a rapper. Okay, remember. So she likes attention. So this is an avenue to get attention. Good attention, bad attention, she don't care. She can't give up that drug. And the drug is how you want to be famous. You want people to recognize you. That's a different type of people. I mean, that people that need that's different. Listen, I'm not here to say it's bad or right or wrong or whatever the case may be, but that behavior, why is she tolerating that behavior? Because she wants that attention and she's getting money from it. It is a lifestyle now. So, I mean, it's a whole different way to look at it. She is fueling this. They have exposed their life. If she was over this, she would walk away. But if she knows it fuels the drug that she needs, which is fame, and it gives her money, and it makes her celebrity. It's bad energy. I don't care about that. I'll deal with that on the back end.
The level of embarrassment that I would feel, the level of disrespect that I would feel, like you're not only disrespecting, but you're disrespecting me in front of millions of people. Who are y'all talking? We're talking about Rashida and Kurt from Love and Hip Hop, and she said, talked about him cheating on her and how, she thought it was her breaking point, what the Lord said. But no, we're not blaming the Lord no more. I'm not allowing you to blame the Lord anymore. The Lord did not. You made a decision and Lamar makes sense, that you want fame more than you want to respect yourself. And that's a sad situation, that a storyline.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think through this year, I think there has been an awakening to what has happened with Diddy and everything like that, that people are understanding the sacrifices behind closed doors that are happening
For
for
fame.
for this fame. And I think people for the first time are really starting to go, ew, like, ew.
Right.
Like, because now every one of your celebrities are looking at them, and now the celebrities are going through a cleansing where they got to prove, hey, I'm a part of that. I'm not,
Me.
not me. So
It was
that's
me.
what's going, and that's what I'm saying. Enough people are starting to look at this, but you got to look at someone like a Rashida and go, man, you need attention. You really need that.
Either
And she
that,
not.
either that, or you have the lowest self-esteem in the world.
Oh, absolutely. That comes with that too. I mean, so it's just but listen, the worst drug in the world is fame, celebrity, and people that crave that. That is a horrible drug
Mm.
because you're always looking for the next thing. And that's why you start seeing this world of TikTokers and all this other stuff. And people, they need that little bit of fame. I'm like, that's crazy. I mean, I'm so glad of when the time we grew up in, and it's like, I know I'm getting older because you look at things, you go like, man, this world is
Yeah.
just this world is getting weird around me, man. And
Yeah.
my little values are real short. It doesn't extend too far, but it's like, man, you gotta remove yourself from the nonsense, and it's unfortunate. And I would hate to be raising a kid at this moment. Like
Yeah.
I'm fearful for my daughter, my grandchildren. I'm truly like, how can I be involved? How can I help to keep them from getting sucked into this BS that's being created in the world?
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is. What we're seeing, like you
Mm,
said, fame is a drug. And
it
I've
is.
had people who have, the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. The network is for people who are tired of twerking and cursing and filth. It's
Right.
just a place to come and have edutainment. We have fun. We have a good time.
Right.
We teach. We grow together. But I'm not going to conform to do different things on here to get more viewers. I'd rather have organic growth of people who
Absolutely.
want to come and see some quality content. Not that we're not so rigid that it's so churchy, but we're not
Right.
filthy either. Like, this is real conversations that we're having in the other different shows, because I don't care about the fame. I really want people to grow and know that they matter. I really want to give
Right.
Generation X's a place to come to be in front of the camera, to be a host, to be behind the camera, and to learn and to grow together, so that we're not dividing men and
Right.
women from each other.
And
There's so many platforms where people are pitting men and women against each other because it sells. That's not what we're here for. That's
I
not
mean,
that's
it's encouraging for men, and you can do it anonymously, and you can ask questions because that's the best part, and that's why men like to be around other men. That's why sports and things of that nature. And you go like, why do men always want to hang around each other? It's just something being around men. And then if you really trust these guys, whether you grow up with them, you like, I have a group of guys of 10 guys, and we just talk, and we start asking these tough questions like, hey, who's getting a prostate checked out? You're over this age. You need to do this. And, you get one or two guys that are younger, and they try to make a joke out of it. Go like, listen, man, it's serious. I get it. It's uncomfortable, but it's
right,
necessary. And
right.
and when you're married and your wife is making you feel like you're the only one going through this, and you talk to your best friend and you go, oh, you're going through it too. Like, oh, okay. Now I can. And that's why guys need that. And I hope that this platform, with me being 52 years old, I lived a married life. Again, I'm never going to paint the picture that, oh, I was a horrible marriage. No, I just knew that there had to be more to life. And I wanted that peace. I wanted that. It was something in me that needed that next level of happiness.
Mm,
And it was nothing to her. She did nothing wrong.
mm,
It was me. It was me. But it was time to grow. And if you truly want to grow, you got to do some hard things. You got to do the heavy lifting. And
mm.
I did not want to just settle anymore.
Wow.
I knew that there was another level of peace and what life could bring, and really being true and honest and being the best version of myself that I'm still working on. But it freed me.
Mm.
it just freed me. It just there was no more lying, there was no more cheating, there was no more nothing. Lamar didn't have to worry about that,
I
and
know
and,
that's
and so
and that's what people have to come to terms with. People like Rashida, like there's better out there for you.
right,
Without the lying and the cheating and the faking, like you're on there like you're not hurting.
right. Like
You
she got a handle on it, and she's gonna be a model, for everybody
right.
else. Nah, mama,
No, you
you're
don't
not.
have a handle on it and you're
Nah,
hurting.
right,
And it's hurtful for your person to put you out there like that. It's hurtful for your person to betray you and to sit and say, I'm not making excuses for you, ha ha ha, but yes, you really are.
right.
Because there still has not been any consequences to his actions, which is going to lead to more poor behavior. So,
Oh, he got a baby. I get it. He got another baby.
right.
It's crazy.
That's what, but after that, like, don't say God told you nothing, because no, I'm not. I'm not doing it. God did not tell you that. Listen, that was the devil. So the Bible says, my sheep know my voice, honey. God is not the author of confusion. And that whole situation is a ball of confusion. So that was not from the Lord. Trust me. God does not bless no mess, and he don't get in the middle of one. So save that for somebody else. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned in to For Love. We're just doing our celebrity relationship. Let's sip on that, where we talk about a celebrity couple, what's in the news, and people do send us stuff that we can look at and listen to and share with you. So we just talking about Kurt and Rashida. And now we're going to get to our next segment, which is our health and beauty segment. And it is Beauty and a Beast, where we give you a beauty and a tip, a health and wellness tip. So Lamar, what is your health and wellness tip?
I'm gonna revisit one because I don't think guys really understand how important it is. Your testosterone. So guys, revisit your testosterone levels. Go get it checked. Anything under 350, you need to do things naturally. Legs, you need to lift weights and legs if you're not in the gym. Cold showers, cod liver oil, things of these natures, walnuts, these things will help you in your testosterone level. If you're feeling groggy, ED comes from these things. It all starts to a chain reaction to things. So you be on the preventative of it. Be like Trey says, you are a car. Your body is a car. You need maintenance.
Yeah.
Stop waiting for things to break down to attack it. It's like, be preventative because it's coming. I mean, there's things we cannot prevent, but we can slow it down a little bit. So that's it. So revisit your testosterone, because I am 6 months away from 53, and I can feel that I've gone up another notch a little bit, and there's some things that are different, and I'm just kind of like, okay, here we go. So I gotta get a little bit more serious about some of these other things, because it's I can feel it is coming. It is coming.
Streets after 50. It's real out here in these streets for men and women. So we
Yeah.
have to take care of ourselves. And my tip is more of a mind tip, just from dealing with, my father being in town. I just want to say, acknowledge your feelings, you know what I'm saying? And deal with your mental health as well as your physical. But acknowledge your feelings, process, and work through it. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to a therapist, or you don't have to go to a coach. You can actually journal. I write a lot of, I have like papers all around my house. I have index cards. And when things need to be processed, like I have stuff like all around me right now. Like I have index cards and papers and stuff that I write to process, so that my mind is not cluttered with
Right.
so much that it starts to stress me out. If I could just get it out on a piece of paper. So be sure to just acknowledge your feelings when things happen, process through it, and if you need to, get help and work through it so that you can heal and be whole. So I'm glad you guys tuned in, because
Yeah,
our time is
absolutely.
up. So this was a great night again, as usual. If you have questions for us that you would like us to talk about on the show, please send us an email, info@newunationnetwork.com, info@newunationnetwork.com. If you would like to sponsor or advertise with us, you can use the same email, or you can send us a DM I am on Instagram at Tray Kearney. Lamar is.
MAR_T_HALL13.
So if you would like to reach out to us, if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, reactions, we are open for them. Please go to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel and subscribe. New You Nation Network YouTube channel, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock. So Lamar, what's your final thought for the night?
Final thoughts. People think of what your peace is, what your happiness is, and try to work toward that. It should matter to you. It should be something you're always working towards, and that should be your purpose as you grow as a person. I think a lot of people that are tuning in here are trying to grow and have questions. So peace is valuable. Don't take it for granted, and have a plan, because as you get older, as we are, like we said, we both say it's the most valuable thing.
Yes. And my final thought is boundaries. Set boundaries from the beginning of your relationships. Know your deal breakers, because we heard a couple of people on here tonight talking about cheating and talking about lending money. All of that has to do with boundaries and deal breakers. Know your boundaries and know what will break a deal in any relationship. And I'm not just talking about husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend. What is the deal breakers in your life? What is the things that make you say, no, I'm not dealing with that with anybody. Don't come over here with that. And that's when you'll know. Like, if betrayal is a deal breaker, you won't stick around for it when it shows up. But if you don't set it as a deal breaker or a non-negotiable or a boundary, when it comes to you, you'll let it happen. But if you know what you know going in the dough, you'll see it and be like, nope, from nobody. Nah.
True.
I don't do that business, personal, none of it. That is a deal breaker. I see you. And trust for me, if I can't trust you, we can't go no further. That's a relationship without trust is like a car without gas. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. We will see y'all next week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Looking for Love on the New You Nation Network YouTube channel. Please share, bring a friend, bring your wife, bring your husband, and reach out to us, info@newunationnetwork.com. And we'll see y'all soon. Thank you again. Peace and blessings.